Hi, welcome to Dreams Recycled Expert Series. Today I am here with Vicky Townsend from the National Association of Divorce Professionals, and her story is really fascinating, which is why obviously I asked you to come here. So welcome, Vicky.
Thank you so much for having me on this. And I've been a big fan for a long time. And so now to do this with you, it's a lot of fun.
Well, we're glad to have you. So our stories are kind of similar but different. So we both, like 53% of other people, went through our own divorce, right? Which is how we kind of ended up here. But why don't you share with us a little bit about how you got so involved in the divorce industry?
Well, it's so funny. I've done so much in my life, from the radio business to having my own company where I helped women start and grow their own business. And one day I ended up on stage with Oprah Winfrey. And that was really, really cool. For about 20 minutes, I had that woman's arm around my waist with her microphone in my hand. And after it was over, I said to myself, I made that happen. Like, it had to really sink into me that I made that happen. I was on stage with Oprah Winfrey. She was talking to me.
And I was like, how did you make that happen? Was it?
Oh, that's another story for another. We'll do that the next time, because it's actually, if you do a show on the law of attraction, that's the story. It's really mind-boggling.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, after it was over and it kind of all sunk in, I sat there and I said, if I could make that happen, what else could I make happen? What else am I capable of? And then I had to ask myself, what do I want to do? Right? That was so important. And I think everybody has to kind of struggle with, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? Here I am, almost 60 years old. What did I want to do when I grow up? And the answer to that question was pretty simple. I wanted to make an impact on the divorce process, on a process that nearly destroyed me. I knew it could be done better. And so I, through another weird series, and again, that goes back to the law of attraction, I met my partner. And we started talking about the impact that we both wanted to make on this process. She was already doing it with on the consumer side, the people going through the divorce, kind of like you and your viewers and your watchers. But we both kind of looked at each other and we go, nobody's working with the professionals. Nobody is engaging them so that they could work together. There's a collaborative process, but there's so many more pieces to that puzzle of the divorce process. It's so huge.
I was going to say, I think that's what people don't understand. I think people don't understand that divorce is so all-encompassing. It's the only time in your life that you need, 10 different secondary services, and you're dealing with moving house and change in relationship status and paperwork and mortgages and child custody and parenting and car insurance and everything else that goes along with that. Not even to mention the legal side, obviously.
Right, Tiffany, our tagline is because it takes a village, because it takes a village. You're changing, to your point, your insurance changes, your homeowner insurance changes. There's so many stories of tragedy that if the people were being set up, the consumers that have gone through this process were being truly set up for success in this process, things would be better for them financially. They would get through it better financially and better emotionally.
Yeah, and emotionally, definitely. I mean, both, but emotionally, me as a consumer and as, my dismal divorce story that we all have, I mean, it was just, emotionally, it's so overwhelming because you think, okay, I'm just going to focus on getting divorced and worry about the emotional stuff. And you don't realize, nobody ever told me, I didn't realize till I went through it, that I'm also doing another full-time job now, dealing with all the practical, legal, and everything else aspects of it. And it's a horrifying nightmare for most of us.
Well, I'll tell you a story about me personally. I was almost held in contempt of court because I could not get through my financial affidavit. And so that document is different state by state, but in the state of Florida, it's called a financial affidavit. And to me, that document was a living, breathing dragon. And every time I had to put down how much I spent on taking care of my lawn and how much I spent on taking care of my pool and my haircuts and my clothing, all of those things, every time I put a number down or I researched a number, it was a reminder to me that the marriage that I thought was pretty wonderful was really a house of cards. It had been, you know, behind this veil, a totally different story. So going through and putting that down on paper for me was so difficult that I almost couldn't do it. And literally I was served with papers that I had 48 hours to finish it or I was going to go to jail.
Wow.
True story. So I understand how hard this process is. I understand that it sucks on its best day. But what I did know was that if the professionals that are out there to work with people like me and people like you communicated to each other and worked as a team on my behalf and on your behalf and on your viewers' behalf, that this could be done better, that people could learn from each other, that they can connect with the right people. In the National Association of Divorce Professionals, we vet everybody that becomes a part of our organization. So we actually not wanted, but we discarded and we actually kick out. I mean, we turned down like 6 to 8% of the people that apply because they have that reputation that gives divorce that bad reputation. You know, it doesn't have a bad reputation for no reason. We just wanted those people in our organization that wanted to make an impact too. Because I think that our members are kind of tired of watching families and children be destroyed in this process. We believe that families can be changed and they don't have to be destroyed. And that's the takeaway here is that if everybody acts as a village on that divorcing consumer's part, it can be a better result for that family and ultimately for the children that are involved. That's really super important to us. How those children go through this process is really important to us.
Right. And I have to agree with you. I mean, obviously I work with a lot of divorce professionals too. And nobody I work with either has a bad reputation, but it's a shame that there are people in the divorce industry that will take advantage of people, that will not put people's best interest at heart, because it sullies the reputation of everyone else. And I've met an awful lot of really, really great legal professionals, mediators, attorneys, whatever they are, who have actually been through the divorce process themselves also, and have kind of come to the same place that they want to make it better.
Right, exactly. Well, there are still those people that with their, you know, one bad apple can speak louder than a whole bunch of others, right? And it's those people that, you know, it's the only business where someone knows your entire net worth before they begin working on your case.
Right.
So that in itself is a challenge. I also think one of the challenges that we face in this process is that we use a criminal system to solve a family matter.
Right.
Right? So we have to work within these two different elements and kind of somehow bring it together. And the court system is getting better. They really are trying to work really hard at not seeing families. That's why only 3% of divorces actually go before a judge, right? They actually go to court, right? And those are divorces probably like you and I had. But they don't want to make decisions about your children. They believe, for the most part, that you and your ex should be able to make those decisions. And so what we want to do is create that team approach where everyone is working to get that family moving forward and with some resolution that works for everyone. And when you do it in that way, with that care, and a team of committed people, it doesn't get dragged out. It doesn't go on forever. These people are consistently pushing for your success in this process, even though that's an uncomfortable word to use in this field, because there really is no success in divorce, right? I mean, it's just
there are no winners.
There are no winners. Exactly right. It's like I said, it sucks on its best day, but it can be done better, and families can walk away maybe a little, burnt, and that's it. But it can be better. You shouldn't have to get PTSD by going through the divorce process. So that's what we wanted to do, is just change the way people work together and introduce them to teams of really committed people that are also on that same page.
Well, and I found, obviously, all the work I do directly with divorcees, one of the things that they complain about the most is, unfortunately, however it starts is how it goes on. And so, the work we do, we try and get people really early and say, okay, you basically have two choices. You go down that wrong path, and if you go down that wrong path, you're never going to get off that. And you've got another 13 years with that husband, with that wife, co-parenting those children, and you've already lost, right? That's bad for the mom, that's bad for the dad, that's bad for the children. Or you can, try and divorce healthier, for lack of a better description, go on the right path, take the high road, do the right things, put your children first. And when you get to the next 13 years after you come out of the divorce system, hopefully there won't be so much animosity, so much hatred, so much drama, and you can both go on and lead new lives. And, two people happy separately is far better than two people trying to kill each other all the time together, right?
Right, the War of the Roses. One of the questions that I hear that our professionals ask their clients consistency is like, do you love your children more than you hate your ex?
Yeah.
And if the answer, and I'm hoping that is 100% of the time, that the answer is yes, I love my children more than I hate my ex, that can give you some perspective on how to handle this. And there are a few processes. I don't know if you've talked about the collaborative process or mediation, what some of the options are that are available, because in litigation, listen, sometimes you need a lion in the courtroom for you, right? I mean, there are some times that you just need pardon the expression, but just a badass on your side that can help.
Every divorce is different. I mean, that's how it starts, right? They're all completely different.
Own thumbprint, right? Everyone is different. And that's another thing. We all look at everybody else's divorce that we see, whether we see somebody on television or if it's our next door neighbors. Well, he got or she got, so you assume that I'm going to get. But that's not the way it goes, because it's a thumbprint and yours is going to be different than mine.
Right. Plus, we're not very honest, are we? And for rightly so, because you don't need to tell everyone in the village, except for your professionals who are helping you. You don't need to tell them your finances and what happened in your divorce and who did what and what's going on. I mean, that's probably not a very healthy thing to be spreading all over the place either. And so when we hear these stories of so-and-so got X, we think on the surface they were like us, but really you have no idea what's going on underneath there.
You don't. And one of the things that we always kind of talk about in the divorce industry that we're in is that it's very difficult, because exactly what you said, nobody posts a picture of their of a selfie with their divorce attorney. They don't check into Facebook when they're on their getting their deposition done. They don't Pinterest or put on LinkedIn their divorce decree, right? none of this stuff, and it really goes under the radar. So the support system becomes trusted advisors in that woman or man's life. And, you know, maybe it's their an attorney that they've worked with before. Maybe it's their financial advisor, or, you know, their child psychologist that's been dealing with all of the issues that arise from all the conflict. Maybe it's even just the realtor that has to sell your house, right? Those people become those trusted advisors that really offer a lot of support for families going through it. And you have an awesome platform, and bravo for that, because there's not many that are out there that are successful. And yours is amazing. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. Well, I think because it's born out of the same vision, right? You want to make things better for other people. Like, I recycle my life by helping other people recycle theirs. You help people find better resources that end up making their lives better. And so that's why I love having people like you on. We're all the helpers, right? We're the helpers of the people who are coming next. I mean,
we're the warriors. We go, you know, with a machete, and we chop down some of the things that just don't work and clear the path so that others can have a kinder and better journey through this. You know, it's like if people knew what I know about the divorce process, but I may not know what you need to know, right? So it's better that these professionals are involved, and that you learn from them. So
how does it work from a consumer level? How do people know if they're part of the National Association of Divorce Professionals?
So we have well, thank you. We have a directory. We are, right now we have 35 chapters around the country, and we've probably got another 20 to 25 that'll launch this year. And we're also launching an online platform for professionals. So what they need to look, they can come onto our directory. They can find a professional in their area on our directory, but they can also, they can call us directly, and we can help them find that out. But also they can start to look for our member seal on their, you know, the people that they're considering on their websites and on their marketing materials. Because one of the things that I will say, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, but is that we vet the heck out of anybody that comes into the NADP. And we go and we make sure that their license is in good standing. We make sure that there's no pending disciplinary action against their license. We make sure that they've had a clean record for at least a decade, that nobody did anything to try to change their licensing. We go on social media. We look at all the rating sites. We look at the consumer's experience. We look at the professional's experience with this person. And then the last thing is we ask for referrals, references from other people in the business community that have recommended them to their clients, because we want to know how that is. What that means to your listeners is that they've kind of gone through the gauntlet when they have that NADP member seal. They've gone through at least some vetting where they know, and we've turned people down, including my next door neighbor. We've turned them down because
Do they still bake you cookies or what?
No, let me tell you something. It's so awkward because I walk my dogs every day, and there he is. Aww. So it's awkward. But at the end of the day, he treated his clients like crap, and he was one of the reasons that divorce has the reputation that it has. He's that little tiny percent of this industry that speaks volumes, but he was one of them, and he was not good enough to be an NADP member, period. So that's the kind of thing that you can, that's the feeling you can walk away with, is that these people at least have gone through a series of vetting. And so, and we're happy to help. If they want to go to our website, which is thenadp.com, you have to put that THE in there, because if not, you end up talking to a bunch of dentists. So, true story. So reach out to us. We will help you in this process find some good professionals in your area.
Okay, well, that's a good note to end that part of the interview on. So now my favorite part, and just go back for a second. I love what you're doing. by the way. I think it's really helpful, and I think we benefit. Yeah, we're
a mutual admiration.
Same but different. Yeah, we work both ends. So randomness questions, because I like people to get to know our professionals we have on, our experts, and the people who make the divorce industry a better place.
Okay.
So, do you cry at weddings?
Yes. 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 And I can blubber at weddings. It's so, especially if there's like a little flower girl. The last wedding that I went to, there was a flower girl that pulled a baby that was also a flower girl in a wagon that had been decorated. It was so beautiful, and I cried like a baby.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, so we're not jaded enough. I cry at weddings too. So would you ever get married again after everything?
Oh boy. I'm at a stage in my life that it's not necessary for me, but because I've been through it before also, I'm not, it was not my first time at that. And I want to have a successful relationship in my life for the rest of my life. Right. I am looking for that, and I might have that, but I don't know if that document is as important to me as it was in the past. Right. But if it's important to him, maybe. I mean, it would have to be.
You are open.
I'll take it under advisement.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, favorite ice cream?
Oh my gosh, there is one by Haagen-Dazs called Swiss Almond Vanilla. I am a vanilla girl with a little bit of chocolate.
That does sound good.
Anything, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, I'm all over it.
Okay, and the last one, if you were any of the superheroes or had any of their powers, who would you be?
Oh gosh, it's funny. I actually had this question asked to me, and I said that I would like probably, I thought about invisibility so that I could be, but I don't like the idea of spying on people. So I didn't like
just read their minds then.
What?
You could have the reading the mind superpower.
Oh, right. Yeah, that one would be really good. I ended up going with flying. I just thought that would be really cool if I could fly.
Yeah, a lot of people pick flying. I'm not a big fan of heights. Flying would not be on my list.
No, okay, I got that too. Yeah, I never actually, now that you said that, I'm like, I'm not a real lover of flights. What am I thinking? So I got to rethink this.
Too funny. Okay, so last question. Next time I see you, what are we drinking?
Oh, we're drinking a really good buttery Chardonnay. And aren't we cooking together? We're going to cook together, right?
We're going to try. God help my kitchen.
It won't be pretty, but it'll be good.
Yeah. Well, Vicky, you've been a joy. Thank you very much for joining us today. And so where can they find you or find more information on you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Tiffany. It's just, you are doing amazing things. So thank you. Anybody, if you need some help and some suggestions, if you need some connections, please reach out to me personally. I'm Vicky, and I'm Vicky with a Y at thenadp.com. Or you can come and find us online at www.thenadp.com, and we will help you. We have a little chat box that you can reach out to us at any time, and we're here to help you. So thank you for this opportunity, Tiffany, and thank you for what you're doing in the world and the blessings that you give everybody as they recycle their lives after divorce.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Vicky. And if you're looking for her and you didn't catch her information, you can find it in the links underneath all the social media where we will be posting this. So thank you again, Vicky, and thank you for being a divorce helper.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Tiffany.
Thanks. Bye.